We all have fears. Even the baddest man on the planet has fears. And what we're going to hear in this next clip is David Goggins telling us about his biggest fear in life. This is episode 1212, David Goggins, Joe Rogan Experience. I'm Coach Colin, coolest high performance coach in the world. And if you want the absolute best insights to the podcasts and videos you love, hit the subscribe button. Let's go.
About when you ran the marathon, you realized how much you were leaving on the table. Because that is, I think the unfulfilled potential is the story of most people's lives.
It is. And it could have been the story of mine. And I tell a lot of people go, what's your biggest fear in life? And my biggest fear, honestly, was, let's say this. Let's say, I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care. So let's just play a game with me. Let's say you're God. And we have a big fucking long line of people. And I made it to heaven. I'm 75 years old. I'm 300 pounds. I made it to heaven. I worked for Ecolab my entire life, spraying for cockroaches. That's what I did. But I'm dead. I'm in heaven now. And you're judging us all now. So we're in line. We're all sitting there in line. You have Adam Brown. He has a big board up. And you're talking to Adam Brown about his life. And you rip it down. And I'm next in line. David Goggins. I see my name. And I see all this shit. And God goes, hey, you say, read this, man. And I'm reading this list. And I'm seeing 182 pounds, Navy SEAL, Ranger School, motivational speaker, changing lives. Okay, man, pull-up record, all this shit. And I'm like, that's not me, man. And God looks at me and says, that's who you were supposed to be. And my biggest fear, I visualize some crazy shit. My biggest fear is that one day I'm going to reach a judgment of my life. Something's going to judge me for what the fuck I was supposed to be in life. And what I want now is that whoever's judged me up there, I want them to have a board and them up there right now getting their pen out. Because, this person who judges you is supposed to know everything. Supposed to know from the time you're dead to the time you're, time you're born, time you're dead. I want this person to be up there to be like this, up there writing more about me, saying, "Fuck, I know you could do that. I know you can do that." So I want to impress whatever the fuck is up there, whatever's going on in life. I want to go up there and not have anything left on the table. I want to drain my soul of every fucking bit of person I am.
Now, how do you plan on?
Man, that's deep. That's deep. And it's a good lesson for everybody who is listening right now, because it's like, if that was true, if that scenario was true, and then he ripped down David's and then you were next, wouldn't you want to live up to everything that you were supposed to be? If there, and again, who cares about your beliefs, whatever, let's just say it's real. Like, wouldn't you want to live up to all of those things that you're supposed to be, that full potential of yourself? And even more so, what if you didn't? What if you were just who you are, and all of a sudden he was just naming off crazy things, like you did this, and you had this accolade and this accolade, and you did this, and you won this competition, and you were appointed to this position, and this and this and this and this, and you did none of those things. And you realize for the first time, like while you're standing, in heaven, gates of heaven, whatever, you realize that you really did have infinite potential. You really did have the ability to do all the things that were kind of echoing in your mind and kind of whispering, and you had it all. You had the ability, you had the time to do all of it, and you didn't. Like, how would that feel? And if I think of that myself, it's like, that's a good motivator, to really live up to, again, if there is some kind of God, I believe there is. I'm wearing a God shirt. You want to live up to everything that you were meant to be, everything that you were crafted for, so don't leave anything on the table. I think that's the biggest lesson in what he's talking about. Don't leave anything on the table. And in fact, add more to the table. Add more. Add more and more and more. Because you have the ability and you have the time right now. Yeah, you have the ability to decide, I'm not going to lay on the couch anymore. I'm not going to play these games anymore. I'm not going to, participate in this drug activity anymore. I'm not going to be around these negative people anymore. You have the ability. Joe Rogan once said, you're not a tree, you can move. You're not a tree, you can change. You can go and do things, Valuable lesson. But you know what it also makes me think of when it comes to Goggins? What if he did get to that page and he had everything that we know Goggins to be, and then, he kind of reads out like, father of 4 amazing boys. This boy became a Navy SEAL. This one became the Attorney General, Secretary General, Defense Minister. This one became the President, Vice President of the United States. You're a loving father. You're somebody who taught your children how to be open-hearted and open-minded, and, loving husband. You're with your wife for 20 years. Like what if he saw all that? It kind of makes you wonder, or it kind of makes, like, you gotta really have some resolve in the things that you're doing here and now. Because what if it did say all those things? What if you did choose one way of living and it said a bunch of other things? Would you feel bad, or would you feel like, well, I went a different way and that's okay? Like, how much resolve do you have in what you're doing right now? Do you have enough that at Judgment Day you would stand tall even though you were quote unquote wrong in the eyes of God? And if that question is like daunting to you, then like, I don't know, maybe you should change things. I don't know. But yeah, David Goggins' biggest fear. I'm out.